Hello and welcome to the Blackout podcast, where I get to talk to amazing people who do amazing things. And today, finally, I have Deji Majek, the super awesome, talented photographer, my friend, super creative person. Thanks for coming to the podcast.
Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah. So when did you how did the photography thing start?
So the story is funny, yeah. Uni. Let's just put it like that. It was when I was in uni, back in Nigeria. I was an 100 level at the time, and I wanted to be serious about studies, yeah. So my first semester, I just went through like school, grinded it, and I think it was just like in the second semester, I saw this guy in my department, in the same program I was. It was a year ahead of me. He also did photography alongside school, and the way he carried himself, the way he did the craft, I was like, yeah, maybe I could do that. I could do this too. So I would usually like take pictures with my phone. I took this random landscape picture of my school area at the time, and somebody looked at it and was like, you have good eyes. You have good eyes. And I'm like, that's stuck, so to speak. So I started like rolling with this other guy in my department that did photography, and I just like stayed with him, So from there, I would learn about photography. YouTube school was my place, and yeah, I picked it up from there, and I kind of didn't leave it, so to speak.
So like, when did you go from like your phone to like a DSLR?
So for the most time while I was with this person, his name is Ife, by the way, because I can't tell my photography story without like having Ife in it, because without him I don't be doing photography. Sure, you get. So so I would use this camera every time I wanted to like practice, because I would read on, what is this technique? How did this person get this picture? So I was quite like technical in my approach about like photography. So I would read, watch videos. Then when I had to like practice, I would borrow his camera. So I didn't have a camera, true. I didn't have a camera until 2022, either 2022 or 2021. I didn't buy my own first camera until 2021. So I would use his camera all the time I needed to like practice or get work done. So from 2017 till like 2021, when I got my first camera, I would always use like his camera or borrow from this person. So that was like how that journey went.
What camera was it? Do you recall?
Yeah, it was the Canon T3i.
Okay.
It was a crop sensor US camera.
Yeah, like my friend, when he starts saying all those things, he just flies up.
Yeah, it's a common camera. Like it's a common, very like basic camera. So it was the T3i. It was just known as the Canon T3i.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like you've done this for years and years and years, and like what was it about that thing that person said about, you have like eyes for this thing? What was about it and the person saying it that made it stick?
So like I would always say that I've always like been inclined to the arts, so to speak, but I could not draw for shit. To get like I could not. I'm sorry. Am I allowed to?
Yes.
Yeah, I could not draw, like I would do comics, like just copy and paste, so to speak. Like I owed a comic book and kind of like not even trace, just try to, but I wasn't good at it. And I even did fine arts in, we call it secondary school, back in Nigeria before uni. So I've always been inclined to the arts, but I couldn't draw. So the camera was the next best thing. So when somebody it was just like an affirmation, so to speak. I said, oh, you could be good at this. You have, like, you see things other people cannot see. So will not see or will not take notice of. It was just like, yeah, maybe I could be good at it. And I kind of just, stood with this person, assisted a lot, started learning from him, started learning on my own. I just kind of gave myself to like the process of learning, and I think, yeah, I think he was just like staying with it, so to speak. Yeah.
The learning has shown, but when it comes to YouTube, it's like this place where you open this door and all these things is thrown at
True
you.
that.
How do you filter, all these videos to know, okay, this is kind of what I want to learn, this is where I want to go to? How did you decide to filter when it was time to go to YouTube school?
Yeah, so I think because the way I learned, it was somebody doing something, me watching and kind of like going back to say, I want to know more about what is happening. So there was kind of like, oh, this it was a portrait photographer too. So and it's why I'm a portrait photographer. Um, so there was like I wanted to learn something. How do you get like the principles of photography, so to speak? There are principles to things. So yes, in the noise of it, I think that they're like they're constants. F stops are f stops. They do the same thing. So whether you watch 1, 2, 3, 4 videos, the conversation is the same. Shutter speed does the same thing, shows motion, or it freezes motion. It's the conversation across broad. How the message is now passed is what is different. So like I said, I was like quite technical towards my approach to photography. So it wasn't a thing of, oh, I'm learning the arts part of it. It was more like, how do you start a car? Do you get it? It's like, how do you start a car? It was like, how do you make something look frozen in motion through photography? How do you show motion? So it's like the principles are the same. You get it's just how it is being taught that's quite different. Do you get me? So it was like, oh, I see a picture. How does this person get like the car moving and the person frozen? You get so when you start asking those questions, then if you type in this keyword, it doesn't work, and you try another one, then something leads to something, you kind of find like where so it's kind of the process of like finding out what you want to know. Do you get me? So yeah.
So it kind of starts off like, I want to learn this, and then you go
You
down
just
that
go
rabbit
and
hole.
rabbit hole of like learning.
Okay, so you say the first picture you took was actually landscape, but now you're doing more portrait. Like, when did the
Yeah.
change happen?
It's like so. Also, something I didn't mention is that I was also broke in uni. Jiggy. I was also broke in uni, man. I used to get like 10,000 there per month, and that's like $10, 10 Canadian dollars now per month as upkeep when I was in uni. So it was that thing of what can I do with my hands,
Right.
so to speak, that oh yeah, will make me cool, but also lean into like this artsy part of me and also put food on the table.
Yep.
So it's like killing two birds with one stone, so to speak. So why did I move? Your question was why did I move from landscape to portraits? That photo was I just happened to have taken it at that time when that person said that thing. So I like people, but I'm also shy. So I think portraiture just gives me the opportunity to be in front of people, to have good conversations, to get to meet people, because where photography has taken me to. Like if I wasn't doing photography, I probably would not be in the room with those people.
Right.
So, and also people would pay for portraiture, except you were exceptionally good at landscape photography.
Right.
It's very hard to monetize. Do you get? And yet Nigeria is a very scenic place, but at the same time, it's not quite scenic. Do you get? So, yeah, portraiture was the fastest way for me to get paid. I like people, and I think it just puts me in rooms I would otherwise not be in.
When you want to walk, so I'm like, I saw your Instagram. Actually, let's go with that. How did you incorporate social media into the things you do?
So when Instagram came, I think I was still in like my second year or third year in uni. I didn't join. In short, I wasn't active on Facebook at the time. I didn't join Instagram until like everybody was like, wait, you're not on Instagram, you're on Instagram, you're on Instagram. So I'd add that account since like 2017 or something like that, or 2018. And that was the first time I opened that account. So it was just a gallery for me to like pull my work basically, and that's how I've always like I've treated it. Now the landscape of social media is shifting, and now you have to be more in front of the camera, and I've been finding that very very difficult to do, to be in front of the camera myself. So it social media has just always been like the platform for me to just display my work, to show what I can do, to show like this is I'm pretty good at this. Maybe you people should pay me for it. So
I
yeah,
agree.
always
I
like
agree.
treated it
Your
like that.
Instagram is freaking amazing. So
Sure.
talking about the Instagram, the people you shoot, like, I see your Instagram, I'm like, shoot, I love this. I reach out to you. I want to shoot something. What happens from then?
So the process is simple. You go through my Instagram, you like what you say, or you say, maybe I want to work with this person. You send me a DM. And the first thing I'm asking you, I'm telling you, oh, thank you for reaching out, of course. I'm grateful for everybody that is in front of my camera that gives me the opportunity to photograph them. The first thing is I want to know what you want, because like for my test shoots, because I do a lot of like tests just to like practice, try my hands on different techniques. You might not want that, or but you might want that. So the conversation starts from, oh, what does the person want? Like, what do you want to feel like? What do you want to look like? What's going through your head? I want to know that. So I'm asking those questions before we even go down I charge this. So I want to know what you want. What can I do for you? How can I help? How can I make you? Do you want to feel confident? You want to feel sexy? Or like, do you get me? What do you want? That's the question. And when we have been able to establish that, then we know that am I the right person for you? Do you get me? So because people see something on your page, but they are expecting something Liz Day Adler will shoot, or expecting something Prince Mason will shoot. Do you get me? So there is style, there is something particular to how I shoot. Do you want that? So I'm asking those questions just to know that we're on the same page. Do you get me? I don't use a lot of props in my photos. If you want to be holding balloons, how do we make it look good? Do you get me? So like those are the conversations we have first, and then we talk about availability. Then we talk about money, and we lock in the dates. You pay me, you get the shoot out. We have a great time. You get your edits, and yeah, that's
Did
it.
you you mentioned edits now, like is it Photoshop or what's the other one? Lightroom.
Yeah.
Like which one do you use, and how much post work do you do after the shoot?
Yeah, so post production is a very important, like, it's a very big part of what I do, especially when it comes to portraiture. The way the camera says a lot. Do you get me? So when you're talking to somebody, and when you take a picture, a photo of them, there are things you do not notice when you're talking to them, because there's like so much happening. You are looking at their eyes and trying to concentrate on what they're saying. There's audio, there's things moving around, and you're not hyper focused on a particular 2D frame. Do you get what I mean? So with photos, the camera picks up a lot. So if you don't like step back and look at it in post production to like have it fixed, not even fixed per se, just remove the things that are not even supposed to be there to start with. So it's a very important part of my process, and yeah, I think yeah, it makes my work what it is.
So which one do you prefer, Photoshop or
So
Lightroom?
I don't use Lightroom. I use Capture One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I use it in tandem with Photoshop. Yeah, so
Oh.
it's like Capture One for colors and exposure correction, and Photoshop for like skin work. A little bit of not photo. I don't manipulate my work a lot, so yeah, I use it
Yeah,
in tandem.
that's one thing that really stands out for me with your photos.
Yeah.
You just it looks like it just came out of the
Oh,
camera
the
like
camera.
that.
No, there's plenty that
Yeah.
goes into it.
Okay, so this is a very beautiful portrait here.
Yeah.
Talk me through this one.
I think the way we photographed this image was actually funny. It was like one of those first shots you take when you're testing your light.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Nabila is one of those models I worked with a lot while I was in Nigeria, and I think I was working for a client. It was for a bag shoot or something like that, and we're testing our light. And I'm like, just stay like that. and that's how this image came to be. So it's like sometimes you don't do too much. So this image is one of my favorite images ever. It's like,
What do you love about it?
you tell me what you see.
I mean, the eyes are freaking striking.
Exactly. So it's very soulful. It says a lot without saying a lot. Do you get me? Like, you have questions, you want to know what's happening. Do you get me? So if you look at this image for a long period of time, it just makes you feel something. Do you get me? And that's what I like in my photos. Like, I want you to feel something. It might not be plenty. Do you get me? But I want you to feel. I want you to feel something. So I think that's why it's not the colors are great, but I think the thing that does it for me with this portrait is it makes me feel something.
Yeah,
Do you get me?
the
Yeah.
eyes are very
Yeah,
striking.
it
Okay,
makes you feel something.
so talking about like your lighting setup, when you're like what is your typical lighting setup? Like for just okay, I'm there, let's get in front of the camera. What is your typical lighting setup?
Typical lighting setup. So I have my money making light setup, but
Yeah.
it will be hard to explain like via audio or like without.
Showing what
You
it
get
looks
me?
like, yeah.
So I have my money making setup that if any client wants like if I have a 5 minute session with a client, I'm going for that. So it's trying to emulate window light with, because I'm a strobist. I use a lot of strobes.
Sorry, what is strobe?
They're like this. They're like this flashes, but on steroids. Do you get me?
Okay.
So I use strobes a lot when I work. So it's two strobes by the side, trying to emulate like a light coming through a big window. So two lights on the side. Subject is right behind, not in front of the light, just a little bit. So we call it feathering. So I feather my light. So I feather both lights, so they are not directly in front of the light. So two lights by the side and another light just either as an air light or as a kick light. So something to separate the subject from the background, and two lights, just soft big. I use octaboxes and umbrellas and turn them together. So those two lights just creating this soft, beautiful light on your subject. So if you pull back, it becomes harder. If you bring it for closer, it becomes softer. So it's very dynamic. And if I have to shoot somebody, that's like,
Let's just get there quick.
That's
okay, so who is this? This is like a green.
yes.
Like you obviously it's from the lighting, right? Or is it after? Is it post production?
Oh no, this was leased this way.
Okay.
Yeah, my friend Tyson. I don't photograph a lot of celebrities, but it's a celebrity in its own right. Yeah, my friend Tyson. I think this was two lights. Do you want to hear about the light, or do you want to hear
No,
about the
like
photo?
the photo itself.
Yeah, I was experimenting with. I had like an exhibition because these photos were printed out for an exhibition I did back in May. So I was trying to, try something abstract. Do you get what I mean? I was trying to do something abstract with this one. So I wasn't trying to pay so much attention to
His
to his face, but more about like the beats, the air, and all of that. So I lit the subject from like the back, trying to evoke some kind of, like I said earlier, emotion. I want the viewer to feel something. I even want you to, when you look at the photo, you like feel something. I would like, what do you think? What's happening here?
Yeah.
How does this make you feel? So, I was
Nice.
experimenting with gels and
Tyson. Okay,
Big
and then last that I have here in the studio, but definitely not the list.
yeah.
Black and white.
Black and white. I don't do a lot of black and white.
Yeah, so black and white photos are beautiful, but they
Yeah.
are really hard to do well.
Yeah.
So why this is like, I looked at this one. This is like everything. Like you can see kind of. Anyway, I'll let you talk.
No, let me know what you think. Let me hear.
This part is what caught my eye.
Okay.
How did like just like kind of like, and you can see her skin. It's like she was.
Yeah. So
You know what else? You know when you're cold and you have those things.
yeah, you have like what's it called now?
Goosebumps.
Goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yes. Texture is also important to me when I work. Like I want you to feel like this person is human. This person is human. So I want to show like texture in my work. I want to show, people have pause. Don't kill that. Don't strip them of their humanity, so to speak. So, yeah. Why did I light this way? I was trying to also like when we talk about like this is called a rim light. It's a kicker.
Okay.
It's used to separate the subject from the background. So the idea was this image, if this wasn't there, this image would have looked like flat. Do you get me? So that was the intention of like lighting this way. I wanted to pay more attention to like the style of the hair, the Afrocentricity of it, and all of that. So, yeah, that's like there's not so much about it. It's more about like the air, the air of the subject, trying to make it like fine art-ish, something you can hang on your wall. Do you get me? And appreciate African hairstyle, or just appreciate like your Africanness, or like the African continent.
One thing I see, I mean, I love the photo, obviously, but one thing I always think of is like, when you're working with a model, how do you get them comfortable? Like, do you talk? Like, what do you do? What's the process for that?
So we talk. Do you get me? When you're coming to, I don't shoot everybody. I don't just work with every model, especially when it's like my test shoot. I like to have a rapport with you. Do you get me? So, because it shows when the model is not comfortable with you as a photographer, it would show. Every image is going to, you can manage it, but it would show. And I think one of the things I get when people talk about my work, like when people come to me and like, I like your work. This person feels comfortable and relaxing themselves. I think that's like the ultimate compliment for me, basically. So how do I get them comfortable? We have a rapport. We talk. Do you get me? And it's very, very like there's so much mutual respect. I am not touching a model's to fix her hair without asking. Do you get me? So there is mutual respect all through the process. I'm working you through it. It's a collaboration. So, I am moving this light like this because, I mean, you didn't ask me, but I'm focusing, like I'm shooting, maybe it's taking a few seconds before I take the picture. I'm focusing or I'm composing. Do you get me? So we are collaborating all through the way so they don't feel alien on set. So that's that's my process, that's how I work. And I think it shows in the work. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm loving the conversation, but one question I usually let my guests go with is basically this question where I ask, what is something that happened before you were 17 that plays a huge role in the person you are today?
That's a brilliant question. Like, I don't really think about the past like that. Maybe I should do more of that. But I think one thing is I didn't live with my parents a lot, so I grew up with my elder sister, so to speak. Like after we call it primary school in Nigeria, and after like I think I moved in with my sister when I was like 13 or 14, so to speak. So watching how our husband and how they were as a family unit, how he took responsibilities for his family and extended family, and how he was with everyone around him. I think it gave me a strong sense of duty. He also gave me a strong sense of responsibility towards myself. So I think living with my sister and our husband, I think it's a very, very important, like, yeah.
Nice.
It's one of those things
Yeah.
that like shaped me as an individual, and how I kind of like approach life.
No, it shows. Like, I know, and it's gonna sound woo-woo, but when I look at your photos, it's like, sure, it's Instagram, whatever, but each shot is deliberate. Like, there's so much work that goes into it, and when I see the thing, I just say, okay, this person is put together well. Like they are composed, they know what they are doing, and they are very intentional about what they do. So when you said duty now, oh, okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. But like before I let you go, you have brought some magic into the studio with your photos. So I want to send you away with magic. This is a pen and stuff. You're gonna write any number between 1 and 60. Just pick one.
1 and 60.
Don't show me the number.
Yeah, my math is terrible though, so don't make me.
As long as it's not 61, it's
Okay,
fine.
don't make me do maths.
No,
please.
you don't have to do maths at all.
Yeah.
Once you're done,
How big should I write it though?
as long as it's just enough for that shit, and then you can point it to the camera.
Okay.
He'll let you know when we've if it's visible and.
Okay.
Yes, I'll try and show you what you picked.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, magic trick.
Yeah, so let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, ready?
All right, what am I showing?
Camera, that one.
But you can see what I
I
wrote
can't see.
behind.
Actually, I'm not looking.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So that number can be in one of these cards, but it can also be more than one.
Okay.
So you're gonna walk with me through it. Is it in this card, your number?
My actual number.
The one you picked, yeah?
No, it is not.
No, it's not. This one.
No, it is not.
No,
it could be, but it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, it depends on how we are looking at it.
No, it's the actual
number. Okay.
Is
okay.
it here?
Oh no, it is not.
Ah.
That's interesting.
Is he here?
No, it is not.
Is he here?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Is he here?
No, it is not.
Okay, wait. You want to be sure? It's not here.
Yeah, it is not.
Not here.
No, it is not.
Not here.
I don't see it.
Wow. Okay. Here?
No.
Okay.
Did I ruin your trick?
Yeah.
Did I ruin your trick?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Give me a second. Give me
All right.
2.
Oh God.
2.
Come on, I thought I got you there. But it's all right. That was a good one.
Deji, thank you for your amazing work.
Nice.
I'm going to reach out because you have to shoot me sometime.
Come through the studio. I'll be happy to have you.
Thank you
so much. Thank you for having me.